The Young and the Restless spoilers. Tuesday, full December 17, 2024. Late afternoon light cast long shadows across the streets of Genoa City, and Sharon Newman stood by the window of her living room, staring beyond her reflection into the world outside. She had made a decision, one that weighed heavily on her heart. She was done with the hypnosis sessions. Weeks of psychological probing had left her exhausted, peeling back the layers of her mind to uncover the truth behind Heather's untimely death. Now Sharon held that truth like a delicate artifact, fragile and dangerous in equal measure. She recalled the final session with a chill. Under the therapist's guiding words, her mind had drifted into that twilight space between waking and dreaming. There, images had crystallized into unmistakable clarity. She had seen Jordan and Ian Ward together. Menacing and purposeful, their hands stained red with Heather's blood. Sharon had gasped back into consciousness, her heart pounding, the therapist's voice distant and echoing as the world rushed back in. She had asked for a break then, and now she wanted it permanent. The last thing she needed was another journey into that dark mental landscape. It had yielded enough horrors for a lifetime. Sharon pressed her forehead to the cool glass pane. She knew the danger of revealing what she'd learned. If it became common knowledge that Jordan and Ian Ward had conspired to kill Heather, chaos would erupt in Genoa City. Even now, tension lingered in every social circle, every whisper behind closed doors. The Newmans prided themselves on control, on containment. If Sharon spoke these truths out loud, that control would shatter, and the town might tear itself apart with suspicion and rage. Some might call her a coward for staying silent, but Sharon knew better. Everyone in this place had secrets, and everyone paid a price. The Newmans had carefully constructed their empire, both familial and economic, on a foundation of guarded information. They claimed what belonged to them, and knowledge was their most precious commodity. Sharon, once entangled with their family, understood the stakes. Heather's death was no ordinary tragedy. It was a domino piece that could topple too many precarious alliances. She sighed, turning away from the window. She had to figure out her next move. Simply knowing the killers' names didn't ensure justice. It only increased the danger. Ian Ward was a master manipulator, a man who had slipped through the cracks of reason and law time and time again. And Jordan, well, Jordan was as cunning as he was ruthless. If they suspected Sharon knew the truth, what would they do? The thought made her blood run cold. Meanwhile, in a quiet suite at the Grand Phoenix, Ashley Abbott paced the lushly carpeted floor. She had warned Tracy, "Don't trust Alan." Something about the man didn't add up. He seemed too accommodating, too eager to treat her and be near her. Ashley's intuition, honed by years of navigating corporate warfare and family drama, told her that Alan's pleasant demeanor was a facade. It was clear he was hiding something. Yet Tracy, ever the optimist, had allowed Alan into her orbit. He was a doctor, after all, someone who promised healing and comfort. And Tracy, long the heart of the Abbott family, wanted to believe in the goodness of people. She desperately craved stability and kindness after all the turmoil they had faced. Unfortunately, the kind face Alan wore so convincingly might just be a mask. Ashley could sense it. She had watched him, caught the slight hesitation in his smile, the unnatural politeness in his tone. He was guarded, calculating, as if he were reading from a script. And when Tracy looked away, Ashley caught a flicker of something predatory in his eyes. Alan was a man with secrets. He had made that much clear by revealing virtually nothing about himself. He listened carefully, studying people, holding back his true thoughts. Ashley suspected that he harbored a duality, two personalities warring beneath the surface. One was the charming professional, the other something much darker, concealed like a blade in a velvet sheath. He had waltzed into their lives with convenient timing, offering solutions without sharing his motivations. A man of many talents, but all hidden under a veneer of gentle care. For now, Tracy resisted Ashley's warnings. She appreciated her sister's concern, but insisted that they give Alan a chance. "He's helped me feel better," Tracy had argued. "He's kind, Ashley." Ashley could only grind her teeth and hope Tracy's trusting nature wouldn't be exploited. The Abbott family had been through enough old wounds and fresh betrayals, corporate coups, and personal heartbreak. The last thing they needed was another liar worming his way into their lives. Back at Sharon's place, a knock at the door startled her from her reverie. She took a steadying breath, preparing herself. It could be anyone, Nick checking in, Chance following a lead, or even someone more sinister. She opened the door to find Mariah, concern etched on her daughter's face. "Mom, I've been worried," Mariah said softly, stepping inside. Her eyes darted around the room, as if expecting to see trouble lurking in the shadows. "You haven't been yourself lately. Are you sure this hypnosis therapy was a good idea?" Sharon managed a faint smile, motioning Mariah toward the couch. "It's over," she said quietly. "I'm not doing it anymore. I found what I was looking for, or maybe what I was dreading. Now it's just a matter of what to do with it." Mariah perched on the edge of the sofa, her gaze intense. "What did you find out?" Sharon's heart thumped. Could she trust her own daughter with this knowledge? She wanted to. Mariah had proven her loyalty time and again. But involving her would only put another target on their backs. Sharon shook her head and spoke slowly, choosing her words carefully. "It's better if you don't know the details, Mariah. Just trust me when I say I've learned something dangerous. If it got out, it could cause chaos, and maybe even put us all at risk." Mariah frowned, but nodded. "I hate seeing you so on edge. Is there anything I can do? Anyone you want me to reach out to?" She sounded hopeful, but Sharon could only appreciate the gesture and decline. "No," Sharon said firmly. "I need to figure this out on my own. The best thing you can do is give me time and space. The truth isn't always liberating, Mariah. Sometimes it's a burden that keeps you awake at night." As Mariah left, Sharon felt the weight on her shoulders grow heavier. She had saved herself from further mental strain, no more hypnosis, but the knowledge was a ticking bomb in her mind. She had been lucky not to lose her life in the process of uncovering it, but that luck could run out if she mishandled this secret. In Genoa City, information was currency, and those who held it could either reshape the playing field or find themselves crushed beneath it. Across town, as dusk settled over the Abbott mansion, Ashley confronted Alan in one of the sitting rooms. She needed answers, or at least confirmation of her suspicions. "I appreciate what you've done for Tracy," Ashley began, her voice neutral, but directness lighting her eyes. "She's fond of you. But I have to admit, Alan, I don't know anything about you, where you come from, what brought you here. I'm curious about your plans." Alan smiled politely, but it didn't reach his eyes. "I'm just a physician trying to help," he said. His voice was smooth, but there was a slight tremor underneath. "I understand your concern. My methods are unorthodox, but they get results." Ashley tilted her head. Unorthodox was one word for it. Opaque might be another. "Tracy means the world to me. I would do anything to ensure her well-being." "Anything, Alan. So, if there's something I need to know, something you're keeping hidden? This is your chance to tell me." He said nothing, only offered a thin-lipped smile and a slight incline of the head. It was an answer in itself. Ashley felt the tension coil in her gut. He was going to say nothing. He thrived in mystery, perhaps even took pleasure in this subtle cat-and-mouse game. And that told Ashley all she needed to know. Whatever Alan's ultimate goal, it was not aligned with theirs. Later that evening, Ashley found Tracy near the fireplace, reading over some notes from her latest manuscript. The flames danced, casting warm light on her sister's gentle face. Tracy looked up, smiling. "How'd it go?" Tracy asked, sensing Ashley's mood. Ashley settled beside her. "I confronted him. He dodged every question." Tracy's expression fell. "Maybe he's just private?" Ashley shook her head. "He's hiding something, something big. I'm sure of it. Please, Tracy, don't let your guard down. I know you want to believe in him, but trust me, this is not a man who deserves it. As Tracy's uncertain eyes met Ashley's, a quiet understanding passed between them. The Abbotts had always persevered by leaning on each other. They would remain vigilant. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the city, Sharon sat alone in her darkening living room, contemplating the secret she held. Her shoulders ached with tension. She knew that by keeping quiet, she was protecting her loved ones and maintaining a fragile peace. But at what cost? Heather's death was a tragedy that deserved justice, didn't it? And yet, if speaking the truth meant inviting Ian Ward's wrath or igniting a blood feud that could tear through Genoa City's delicate equilibrium, was she truly doing the right thing by staying silent? The Newmans would want to control this information. They always controlled what was theirs: people, companies, and especially secrets. If Sharon confided in them, perhaps Victor or one of his descendants could neutralize the threat quietly. But involving the Newmans meant becoming entangled once more in their power plays. Sharon had tried to free herself from those traps. Could she risk being pulled back in? In the stillness of the night, Sharon understood that not all truths belong in the open. Some must remain concealed to prevent greater harm. She had survived the ordeal of uncovering Heather's killers, but survival alone wasn't enough. She had to live with the moral consequences of her silence, the knowledge that justice might be delayed or denied. Just as Ashley and Tracy would have to navigate the treacherous presence of Alan in their midst, Sharon would have to carry her secret through the coming days and weeks. In Genoa City, everyone wore masks, from murderers to healers, from tycoons to therapists. The challenge lay in deciding when to remove those masks, and when to keep them firmly in place. And so, Sharon chose silence. She closed her eyes, imagined Ian Ward's cold gaze, Jordan's self-assured smirk. She saw Heather's face, serene in life, ghostly in death, and understood that truth could be a weapon as much as a virtue. Better a guarded truth than an uncontrolled explosion. The Newmans could keep their secrets, and she would keep hers. For now, that would have to be enough.